Good evening and welcome to the very first ever Let's Talk Sports show. Welcome. I am your guy, your host, Bodkins. This is going to be an incredible show. We're going to be coming to you guys live 3 times a week, every Monday night, every Thursday night, and Sunday morning. Monday nights right here, 8 o'clock Central Time Zone, 9 Eastern. Thursday night, same time. Sunday, 8 a.m. We got a little morning show for you guys. 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern, Sunday morning. So be tuning in. So who's going to be joining us? You guys saw all the names, so let's bring them in. First, let me shout out our producer who put all this stuff together. Is booking all our guests. The one and only, you guys know who he is, the Mr. Sports Buffoon himself, Tanner Dawson. Tanner, what is up, my guy? The producer is booking the show. Shout out to Dan Harris as well. Then when I was negotiating my contract, they said, hey, we want you to host Bodkins. We want you to do what you do on the Bodkins show. I said, well, there's only one other guy. If I got to go start this thing and host this thing, I got to bring in my Puerto Rican brother, Johnny Cruz. Johnny, what is up, my friend?
What up? Been looking forward to this. Happy to be here. Honored to be here. Shout out to Dan Harris. Tanner is killing it. Super excited for this. We're going to have a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a good time.
Also, we got we reached out. And we knew we needed some history. We knew we needed a certain demographic, the 60 and above, 55 and above demographic, and the East Coast demographic. So we got knocked out 2 demographics and with one guy. Welcome coming to us live from Dansbury Nursing Home, Mr. Scott Cobe. Scott, thank you for joining us.
This is great. This has been a month in the making. It seems like it's been longer than that. So, I'm happy to be here. Thank you to you guys for allowing me to be here and the nurses for allowing me to stay up late. So
and last but not least, none other than I don't know how we even got this guy on the show or why Tanner talked me into letting him come on. But welcome to the program. Welcome to the show. Gosh, Mr. First Downs, Sam. Sam, what's up? Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, Bodkins. Hey, look, anything for a favor for you. I know look, we go back a long time. You keep hiding your love for me, and you bury it very deep down, very deep. You cover it up very well. I'm proud of you.
So we got some comments, guys, right away. I love it. I'm already loving it. Rec-Room Sports says, not the nursing home. That's for sure. Just fans are slump buster.
I am the slump buster.
He brings the show down. And then Rain Cloud, Mr. First Down is the best. Tighten up. Look, we got negative and positive feedback already about Sam.
I feel like that's going to be the case to this show. Let's jump right into it. I am the
crux.
Let's jump right into it. Last night, NBA Finals, Game 2. Nuggets, lose. The Heat come back down 15. Scott, you asked before the game, who should we bet? I almost texted you and told you bet the Heat +8 because I thought they could cover the 8. And not only did they cover, they won. What was the keys there for the Heat victory?
Bam Adebayo has been playing out of his mind this whole playoff. And again, he showed up last night big. So Denver's been making mistake after mistake throughout the whole postseason, and it's finally catching up to them. They didn't lose a game; they were up by 8 points going into the fourth quarter. And last night, Miami, Duncan Robinson just scored 8 straight points in 35 seconds. It seemed like. So, to me, Denver has to clean up what they're doing on the offensive and defensive end. And Miami did what I think we said on the in the hoop, is allowing Jokic to score and shutting down the other guys around him. And Miami did a great job at that. So,
Johnny, what was Eric Spoelstra? I mean, I think he kind of made the great adjustments in Game 2. And we've talked about how great of a coach he is. He makes it again. They said pretty much like, hey, Jokic isn't – we're not going to let Jokic pass. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, that's exactly what I have written down. I have adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Spoelstra did what he had to do. He put Bam up, controlling the action on offense, doing a lot of two-man stuff on his own up there. He was able to make plays from out there. And I think, you know what I'm saying, that's what the NBA finals are about, is adjustments. So now we got to see what Michael Malone, because apparently he doesn't like to be called Mike. So we need to see what adjustments Michael Malone makes going into game 3. But I expected nothing less from Spoelstra, bro. He turned out to be a really, really good coach, bro.
He's the best coach. I think the best coach, hands down, the NBA. It's crazy to me. He's never won Coach of the Year award.
He does more with less than anybody else, in my opinion.
Yeah. We're talking a guy who's won multiple championships. Sam, what's your initial reaction there to game 2 last night?
When I heard the Mike and Michael, I thought about that scene from Office Space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it's like, why don't you go by Mike or Michael? No way, he's the one that sucks. No, fun fact: if Joker is over 40 in a postseason game, it's 0-3. When he is under 40 points, they are 13-1.
Yeah.
I am more upset if I am a Nuggets fan that you just wasted Jokic scoring 41 points in a game. I mean, it meant nothing because their defense in the fourth period was just non-existent. Non-existent. It was.
Here's your scorecard on the screen right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think the plan to me was, hey, Jokic can do it all. So what can we alleviate? We got to alleviate everybody else. Let Joker get 50. Let him get 45, 40. Hey, we can't let Jamal Murray get 20 plus. We can't let Bruce Brown get a 20. We can't let Michael Porter get 20. Let's cut that off. Like, Jokic is going to do Jokic things, but what can we eliminate? We got to eliminate everybody else.
I agree with that, but the one thing I am going to say as far as Denver, this was kind of like they switched it up on them, and I think their lack of ability on defense let it affect their offense, to be quite honest, because they're a young team. So let's see if the Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, let's see if they actually can step up. And now they're going down to South Beach. So let's see if they got what it takes to help Joker, because we know Joker could do it. Can somebody step up and help him get past this crazy Miami team that just, you know what I'm saying, will not die, bro. They just keep fighting.
If you watch Michael Malone in the press conference after the game, he basically lit into the players last night.
Mm-hmm.
He said, if we don't clean it up and we don't play like we should, we're going to lose this series in 5 games. So what last night did was, I think, it extended the series to 7, almost. I think it's going to be a 7-game series now.
That'd be
to
awesome.
be honest with you, I think Miami can win 1 or 2 more in the series.
It's going to be interesting for that fact, right? So Jason kind of alluded to it on In the Hoop on Saturday was, let Joker score, take away his other facets of the game. And that's exactly what Miami did. And you saw it on the scorecard, and I'll pull it back up here. The amount of depth that they used effectively on this team here. Like, you only had 3 players once again, for the Denver Nuggets at home. But you had almost everybody minus 3 players, which we don't count on using, Haslam, Jukic, and Yetvin or something like that. So, nobody's right now. So, but you used the depth, but you took away the outside, you took away the assists, you took away the rebounds. And I think that's your biggest key deal that now Denver has to figure out, like, all right, how do we do this if they try to do this again? Because they're owing I think Tufel, my man Tufel's on here. They're 0-3 when Joker scores 40 plus.
Which is
insane. Because if a guy scores 40 plus, you expect some wins, right? So Tufel, appreciate you. So that's the case. Take away his other 2 facets of the game, and he's beatable.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they're beatable, but it makes it a tougher game. What do you guys make of that last second play there? Most coaches would want to call timeout. Malone chose not to call timeout. Let Murray bring it up. He got a good look at it, but I kind of I kind of don't know. I think I would have called timeout and maybe set up a play. Taylor, I see you shaking your head there. What's your thoughts?
Let him roll, man. Murray just made a 3-pointer. What? 10
seconds
ago?
If it was a 2-point game, maybe. But you said
I think you got to catch Miami on their heels, and if you're bringing it up, they're expecting the timeout.
Right.
That's where
Well,
you
but
got to
I
do, because
want-
Miami's a team. You let them set up, and they're going to figure it out, and they're going to take care of business. That was the best move, I think, against Miami.
Tanner's
and I
building his reputation for the show. As
I think
being
you
the
got to
lone
find a way to
wolf,
get it
you know?
into Jokic's hands. He needs to be the one to take the last shot, yo.
I agree.
I
saying.
think
He's the
think
best
Denver.
player.
I think
Mhm.
Denver's at their optimum when Joker is passing the ball.
Yeah.
He's
Rebounds
if
and
he
passes.
scored
Assists.
27 with 10 to 15 rebounds and 12
What-
assists. Denver's running optimum offense. So
I think what they need to do is what he needs to do is be more aggressive. If they're gonna let him score, be aggressive. So at least you're collecting fouls on the other team. You know what I'm saying, and you're helping the other team, the rest of your team that way too, by getting them into some kind of foul trouble or something. Don't just settle for just the jump shots. Just go to the hole. If they're gonna
Right.
let you get yours, try to get
Yeah.
some and ones.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised. I didn't mind Murray taking the shot, like you said, though, Tanner. Like he was on fire. He came alive that fourth quarter, but you knew going into that game that Martin wasn't going to be 0 for 9. Neither was Strus. Like those guys were going to be able to shoot, and they shot really well. How about Duncan Robinson coming off the bench? And he provided
coming
the
alive
spark.
again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was huge. What's your guys' quick thoughts before I got to get out of here? And I'm gonna let Tanner run the show here. What's your prediction for Game 3?
I think Denver takes it. I think you take Denver. I think you're gonna see more bench out of Denver as they're on the road in Miami. I think Denver takes it.
Yeah, Nuggets are going to get back together. They're going to figure it out.
yeah, I think the tendency is when a team feels like they don't play their best, they come out in the next game and play really well. So I think Denver's going to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Denver just because they're the better team. So and they got the best player. So if they all play up to their ability, they can win the game. We're gonna see what kind of stomachs those kids got. Like I said, his supporting cast down in Miami,
Yep.
if they have what it takes to help him win the game, because he's gonna do what he has to do. He needs help. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Right.
I said
Yep.
at the beginning Nuggets in 6. So I thought Miami would win Game 2. I expect them to win Game 4, but then I expect Nuggets to kind of come back and bounce tomorrow night. I said last night though, if the Heat would have lost that game last night, I probably think it's a sweep series at that point in time. But I think give that win last night gave Miami a little bit of momentum and thinking like, hey, we can do this. It's just going to take everything we got.
Oh man, if Miami
Bro, but if
wins
Miami
it-
wins tonight, if Miami wins,
Ooh.
if Miami wins Game 3, that's gonna be interesting.
Then it's a 7-game
It will
series.
be.
That's gonna be interesting.
yeah,
Real quick here before Nick leaves, but Bobby G says it's difficult to get Joker without the timeout.
Sure.
That's why teams don't execute as well in close games when big is the number one option. And Nathan Wright, appreciate you, Nathan, hopping on. Says if Joker isn't going to tell Zeller every time
That's
they
it.
are one-on-one,
Exactly.
Nuggets are in trouble. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be
Right.
interesting, man.
That's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
they did though. He did take him a lot, like, and that's why he scored.
Nah, I'm
40
talking about
points.
everybody. Just go at everybody. If they're
Everybody.
gonna if they're gonna take away the other guys, just attack everybody. Bam.
Let
whoever's
Joker
guarding
score,
you,
take away the
just
big
go to
facets
the
of the game.
go to the
Yeah.
hole every time.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
all right, Nick.
All right, you
we know
guys.
you gotta
I
get-
got
Enjoy, man.
I got to get out of here. Baby girl's about to play her
Good
first
luck, good
softball
luck,
game
good
of the
luck.
season. So, you
Good
guys
luck,
have a
man.
great show. I'll see you guys Thursday night, 8:00
sir.
Central. We'll see you then.
All right,
See you,
take care,
Nick.
Nick.
Be safe, bro.
see you, bud.
How do I get the hell out of here?
Bye, bud. Boy,
All right.
what a jerk, right?
Of course,
Oh, man.
of course, that'll be the way he
Hey,
needs the
hey
first
Tanner,
show.
just to mention before we hop off this, we hit 2 out of our 3 bets.
We did.
that we
We'll
put-
talk about
we
that
put-
the second half of the show here in the
Bro,
second
I,
half.
I need that.
So-
Yeah.
I got
Read
that
the
lined up
outline.
there because
Jeez.
I want to talk about that too.
Okay.
So, guys, real quick here before we get into our first guest of our premiere show of the Let's Talk Sports Show, I want to shout out Underdog, guys. Underdog, big deal with the Let's Talk Sports Show. Look, it's an app. You download the app, Underdog app. Use the promo code LTS. You get a matching deposit up to $100 your first time. So you put 100 in, you get 100. You put 50 in, you get 50. It's a great app. They have a bunch of best ball for you fantasy football guys out there. I used that app a whole bunch last year for my shows, and it was a blast. So make sure you guys go check that out. They also do, they do best ball. They do daily drafts. essentially a little different than what you see in the other apps such as FanDuel and DraftKings. It's definitely a new perspective in the DFS world. So want to shout that out there. Promo code LTS.
Good ad.
All right, guys.
Yes,
Good
sir.
ad
Yes,
read.
sir.
There we
Hey,
go.
Well done.
I'm
There
kind
we
of
go.
practice here.
Woo.
All right. I think it's time. Let's bring him in. Our premier guest on this wonderful day, on this wonderful show. A guy who's had about 3 guests in a row now of fabulous stuff over there on Let's Let's Talk. He has the Let's Talk Spucks on LTS. It's also the I can't remember the freaking name right now. Jim, we're gonna bring you in. Help me out, man.
That's
The
not
full-
Nick.
What's your podcast?
It's the full pressed NHL
Full
podcast.
Press Hockey.
Get it
Press
on
NHL.
Get it on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast.
It's
Had
amazing.
Bill Lindsay on the other day, Florida Panther color analyst, NHL network analyst, former NHLer. Then I just had Willie G. Ramirez on from ESPN Las Vegas talking Golden Knights. Funny, we were talking about a bunch of guys on the podcast the other day, talking about Marchessault. And again, Marchessault strikes for the Golden Knights. It is 3-0 in game 2. Vegas is dominating this game. Check these stats out right now. I brought some stats with me for this. Marchessault,
right.
9 goals in 9 games, 11 goals in his past 12 games. This is the first time Sergei Bobrovsky's given up 3 goals in 3 straight games, dating back, wait for it, the Boston series when he entered in game 5. So those 3 games date back to the Carolina game 4. So he's given up now 3 goals against Carolina, and he gave up 4 goals in game 1, and now he's given up 3 goals in game 2 of this series. So Vegas, when they want to take over a game, they're showing it, going back to Dallas series, even go back to 2001 when they somehow lost to Montreal in the Western Conference Final. They beat Colorado 4 straight games. When Vegas wants to take over a game, nobody's stopping them. Nobody.
Hey, that's good for my bets right there. I took the money line or the money line in the first 3 periods, so no overtime.
Make it 4-0. Make it 4-0. 4-0 Vegas.
Tanner,
Okay,
Tanner, I'm right with you. I
yeah,
took
here with
Vegas
the
as well.
Wow.
I took Vegas as well, so I'm right with you.
Look, if you guys heard me on Let's Talk Pucks with John Restino, Tanner, thank you for the graphics, for the lead-in. It was awesome. And you heard me everywhere else. I said coming into this series, I know a lot of people pick Florida. I know a lot of people were saying Florida. I said the 10 days off was going to be a problem. But I also said that Vegas is the better team. If you look at them top to bottom, they are the better team. Depth-wise, forward-wise. I know the edge goes to Brabant. Aiden Hill is the reason why Alex Lyon is coming into this game right now for Florida. Look, Vegas is just a better team, and the better team always usually wins, and Cinderella usually, well, it strikes midnight.
Look at that. Strikes
ends up
midnight.
winning out at some point.
Hashtag strikes midnight.
Right.
Yeah.
Jim, is this a
man.
four game quick in and out series? You think?
I mean, it feels like it right now. It definitely feels. Look, this is, you know what? I'm not gonna. I've said, it feels like it, but I will say, go back to 2003 when the Devils played Anaheim, right? The Devils blew them, the first 2 games. They blew them out, like 3-0, shutout, Brodeur. They got to Anaheim. Things kind of just, I don't know. Things kind of went wacky, right? A series doesn't start till a home team loses a game, right? Well, it looks like Vegas isn't going to lose this game. But, if Florida loses game 3, then we're like, all right. It has shades of 2014, too, when LA was just dominant. So, I mean, this could be a quick series if Vegas just continues to put the gas pedal on and Florida can't catch up.
Yeah.
It's those original 5 players, they all have a chip on their shoulder. And they come in there and they just put on a show. They're just scoring. They're playing good defense. Just a tough group of guys. That Shea Theodore, man,
Oof.
What a player. Woo!
Yeah, it's funny because talking with Ramirez yesterday on the podcast, these guys have grown so much from that first year. Like that first year they went to the Cup final. You guys know in other sports, you're just happy to be there, right? You don't know what the experience is like. You're just happy to be there. And these guys are just happy to be here. But now they got like a lot of chip on their shoulder. And these guys have got like, normal expansion team. Yeah, you have 5-6 years. You don't make the playoffs, whatever. But these guys have gone through heartbreak because they've been in win now mode. They've lost in the conference finals. They've lost in tough games. I know they missed the playoffs last year. But
I was about to say that, yeah.
This team, the original Golden Misfits, as you like to call them, they're just playing and they're chipping in, and everybody's found a role. And and you got Mark Stone there, you got Jack Eichel, Barbashev. It's top to bottom. This team is so good.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop them when they get on a roll like this.
Is the worst thing possible for the Panthers? I brought up game one stats right now, as you can see. And at the bottom there, you see the first period goals, the second period goals. They were pretty tight back to back, right? Keeping it close. But it seems like since the third period of game one, it has just been nonstop Vegas. I mean, is this a thing Florida could not allow to happen, this momentum to be carried into the next game on a late game one streak?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, right, you hear coaches and you talk players about it. They say momentum really doesn't carry over game to game. Each game is different, except if the team that scores late in game one comes out and scores in game two, and then it just snowballs. And you saw that Florida took undisciplined penalties. Whether you agree or disagree with the penalties, whether you agree, you're the coach, whatever, go back to the Minnesota series against Dallas. Their coach is animated on the bench. It affects the players on the bench. Go kill the penalty. Don't worry about whether you like the penalty or not, or you disagree with the call or not. The referee's going to call it. And the thing is Vegas is not getting involved in the BS after the whistles. There's a little rough housing. There's a little stuff here, but they're not playing Florida's game. It's like the big brother and the little brother. The little brother just wants to poke them all day. Vegas is just swatting them away. They're like, we don't want to get involved in this stuff right now. So, look, Florida has to stay disciplined. They took some bad penalties in the first period, led to goals. Again, they're getting mixed up now. You can't give Florida any momentum, but it is 4-0. But, again, you just can't let the stupid stuff carry over into each period. You got to kill off the penalty, and the momentum does carry over. Now, again, Florida was off for 10 days. Florida didn't look great in the third period, losing puck battles. They still don't have their legs to me. They really don't. And Vegas has legs because, they played Monday. Okay, they have 4 days off. But they're still in the mode. And the fact of the matter is that Florida didn't take the optional skate and Vegas did, tells me all I need to know about what Vegas's mission is right now.
Right, exactly.
Jim, talk about Bruce Cassidy's effect on this Vegas team, if there is any, and how has it influenced them on the ice?
It starts right there. Top to bottom. He brought in a defensive system, but he let these guys be themselves. Like, he's implemented different systems, and you've seen it in Boston when he was there with the Bruins. Yeah. But he's learned from that time in the final. I think that's really helped this team. I think he's got them over the edge. He understands what it takes to win in the final. And it's a big physical defense. Take away the middle of the ice, but take your chances when you want it. He's got the one thing we knew when Bruce Cassidy was there, Boston had a great power play. He's carried that over to Vegas. But they're playing more disciplined. They're playing defensively. And I think the one thing I will say that was different in 2019 than it is now, again, I'll go back to it. Vegas has more depth. The Bruins relied on one line consistently. Yeah. The Bruins could get goal scoring from other places, but they didn't get it consistently. Vegas can get goal scoring top to bottom consistently every night. It can come from their defense, come from all four lines. Bruce Cassidy's brought a mentality over from Boston, and he's just let the guys be them guys, and everybody plays within the structure, and nobody's going to be stupid. They're just going to be disciplined. But he will let the guys know, hey, I want an effort from you. Like we saw in the Dallas series when they didn't play great.
Right.
He's going to call them out, and then they're going to play good. So it just starts from the top all the way, from Bill Foley all the way down. But Bruce Cassidy, what a great hire. You knew he wasn't going to be on the market that long.
That's right. Yeah, I agree.
Yo, Jim, it's good to talk to you, bro. I told the guys before the show started I could listen to you talk hockey all day, bro, for real.
Oh, I appreciate that, dude. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in goaltending. Is Sergey the type that he can stand on his head? Because goalkeepers can win a series, they can win they can go a whole playoff run. So is he the type, or does Vegas just have way too much firepower?
I think that was a big key. I thought Bobrovsky played great in game one. I just think Vegas just took away his eyes. But the layoff for Bobrovsky, I've talked with Russ Cohen, I've talked with a bunch of other guys. They said if Bobrovsky's off for a long period of time, he just doesn't play well coming off that break. And at 10 days off, again, you can't simulate game action as much as you want to practice, scrimmage. It's not the same. And I think the time off really hurt him. I didn't think the goals he gave up tonight were bad, but again, you're just trying to give a different look, set the message. He'll be fine. He's got to play better than he's playing though for Florida to have a chance to win, and the whole team has to play better. I know Paul Maurice said after the first game, got to relax. Everybody's tight. Got to breathe a little bit. Well, you're going to be down 2-0 pretty quickly. You better start playing better. I think Florida has to get something going into game 3. I know the game's not over. Anything can happen, but still, they got to get some momentum their way. But Bobrovsky has to play better. Now, let's see what Line can do. It's a different look. Maybe he holds him. But they're going to go back to Sergei Bobrovsky. He's the guy that got him there. But the fact of the matter is, Aiden Hill has been standing on his head ever since he came in against that series against Edmonton. The dude, the highlight reel save of the playoffs in game 1 on Nick Cousins. That's the series.
So he's been the hotter goalie.
Did you say that
he's been the one that's just been doing it?
Aiden Hill's the man.
Aiden Hill. Now, I found this out the other day when I was doing the podcast. It's the same net that Braden Holtby made the save on Alex Tuck in 2018. So you got 2 highlight reel saves that changed the series. That led Washington to go on to win, and they took care of business. Dude. Aiden Hill has just come in. Look, he wasn't the better goaltender against Ottinger, but he's come up with a timely save. He's come up with a big save. He hasn't given up the bad goal. Yeah, you could say the Dellandrea goal in Game 5, but Alex Pietrangelo's got to get a stick out of the way because positionally Hill was there. He's just coming up with the saves. He's in the zone right now, and I don't think anything's going past him.
Okay.
And I will say this. He was if you read anything or saw anything, he was a sneaky good play if you bet him before the odds came down to win Conn Smythe Trophy if Vegas was going to win. Because I saw it on Sports Interaction. It was like plus 1,300. It's dropped to plus 800. If he wins and gets another shutout, it's going to go down even more. So the value is now to get him if you're going to get him.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, exactly. By the way, I got it pulled up here. The save from game 1. And I don't like this. Was wild. Let's put my mind.
Yeah, look at the stretch. That's amazing. That was amazing.
Come on. Let's go Google.
Oh,
That's unbelievable.
I mean, he's just out of position, but look, he gets back, gets the paddle out, and it's just it's unbelievable save. But look at Pietrangelo too. When you go back to it, right? Pietrangelo gets the puck out of the way too, and then he gets everything set up, and they go from there. Now, it's huge for them, and Aiden Hill's just been great.
Thanks, Ryan.
What is this contractual situation, Aiden Hill?
Oh, he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Oof. So he's due for big money, if he wins.
He is due, and again, we're gonna see what they do in the offseason with their goaltenders because Robin Leonard's still contraction. You got Logan Thompson, Bressois. The way Bressois and Hill's playing, you might consider going back with them, maybe moving one of the other 2 guys. But he's going to get paid like Barbashev's going to get paid.
Do you think the Panthers will continue to try to cause ruckus, cause fights, try to get them off their game next game?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what got them there. But again, to me, Matthew Tkachuk's got to play within himself. I know he's a physical guy, he's an agitator, but he's going too far to the agitation, what you saw with Calgary last year against Edmonton, and that's what got him in trouble and the Flames team in trouble. If you let the other guys do that and play offensively minded, that's what the Panthers are better suited. But again, I go back to the layoff. Teams coming off that layoff, it's just not a good thing.
It's deadly. It's deadly.
It's deadly. I mean, Scott, you saw when when Bruins were off 10 days or 9 days against Blues in 2019, right? Yeah, they won game 1, but Bruce Cassidy mentioned that media day. But we had the home crowd. This is different. They were on the road.
Yeah. Right. Agreed. 100%.
So, Jim, before we wrap up the finals here, let's say, Vegas finishes pulling this out here and wins this game here, game 2. Do you see, because, this it seems like this playoff, the Stanley Cup playoffs, have been all about the comebacks in series, and it's been exciting with that. Do you see that being a chance here in the Stanley Cup finals?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough the way Vegas is playing. And look, Vegas has won every game 3 in their series. When they go on the road, they win the first game on the road, and they know how to play on the road. So I would bet that Vegas finds a way to get one on the road, and they go home and try to win it in Vegas. I would like to see that because I just think I love seeing the cup presented on home ice to the home fans because everybody gets to enjoy it. That's the one thing. Like I like being like when I was there in '95 and in 2003 for the Devils. It's special. Like you get this, the team gets to celebrate with the fans. So I'd like to see that. Look, to me, like after round 2, I said Vegas. Vegas was my pick because I just think they're just so good top to bottom, and the players may not want to admit this, but they're playing with an edge of the underdog because go back to the first round. Teams picked Winnipeg because we were uncertain about Bressois, what they could get. Definitely picked against Edmonton because McDavid drive. Even Dallas, even against this series, they're playing with the underdog edges to say, hey, we're flying under the radar. We're number 1 seed. You should treat us like that. And they're just doing their business, and they're showing us that they're the best team.
Tim, one more question on the
go for it.
The TV programming, it being on TNT, your championship games, where the other sports have it on ABC, Fox. What is the NHL's reasoning into that, Jim? Putting it on TNT.
I don't know if they can't get it on CBS for some reason because it's Turner, and we always see these games. I know they like the cable and all that stuff. I know back in the day, when you had NBC and Versus or whatever, they would put 2 games here. I personally would love it on network television. It's easier to get more eyeballs on it. Yeah. I think it might be streaming on Paramount Plus. I have no idea. I really don't look at that. I personally, now this shows you how much I may or may not respect the American broadcast. I find a way to stream Sportsnet because I just like the Canadian broadcast better. I like their analysts a little better, and I like the presentation, the game. Like, go on their Sportsnet Twitter. Go tell me that intro package doesn't fire you up to watch a game or get you ready to play a game. Like the music, the video, everything they put together is just a little better. I'm not saying TNT doesn't do a good job. I think they do. I think Wayne's great. I think Lundqvist is awesome. I think the guys, but there's something that I think they can maybe find a way to get it on CBS. Maybe it's because there's programming and I have no idea, but it's just, it's a shame that it's only on cable and it's not on national television.
Yeah, because Saturday night game 1 would have been awesome on NBC or something.
Yeah.
Well, I think. Well, obviously everything rotates. So next year, ESPN and ABC have the deal. So you're going to see the Cup final on ABC again.
On ABC, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be good. Again, maybe there's a way you can get it on CBS going forward. That way you get more eyeballs on your product. But I will say the one thing I will say about what TNT's done is the fact that you take a guy like Matthew Tkachuk and you get him everywhere, right? He was on Inside the NBA. He's talking with Shaq. He's talking with those guys, Barkley. Like, that's what you need. You need more cross promotion, especially when you're trying to emulate one of the best pregame and postgame shows in any league with Inside the NBA. Like, that's good to see, and we need more of it.
Absolutely.
I love it, guys. We are on with Jim Behringer of Full Press Hockey here. This is always great here. Let's talk a little NHL off-season news that's been going on. Because guess what? There's stuff going on right now.
Right? There's stuff going on. Like legit. Like, oh, by the way, like if you woke up this morning and you're Cole Caulfield's agents, you're getting a nice percentage of his new contract that he signed with Montreal. 8 years, $62.8 million, 7.875 AAV, like right under Nick Suzuki. By the way, 2 trademarks. I have the Behringer push, which worked in the conference finals. 2 players. You should have bet on that. And the salary hierarchy that the Montreal Canadiens are following like every other team. You get your 2 youngest players on 2 valued contracts because the salary cap will go up. Man, it's a win.
It's a win-win, man. Let's also talk about some stuff here. I got a little list. Let's talk about the head coaching change that came this past week. Nashville Predators, Andrew Burnett being named to replace John Hines.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, John
Hines.
Yep.
So what's that impact for Nashville? What's their, Sam out here being a Tennessee guy as it is, what's that impact? Does that have hope for him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Burnett's a great guy. I mean, he's a great coach. I think what happened in Florida, just timing, the circumstances, I think they wanted to go a different direction. He was an assistant in New Jersey under Lindy Ruff. He's a great power play guy. It's a great room for the guys. He played for – it's funny. He played for the team.
He scored the first goal ever in Preds history.
Yeah, so it's a great pickup. He's going to bring an offensive system to that team. John Hines' time was wearing out there. I mean, look, they were lucky to get into some playoffs with him. I've never been a fan of his. Even when he was in New Jersey, I know they work hard. They do, but again, the year they went to that playoffs, they lost to Colorado. Yossi had career year. Duchesne had career year. Johansson had career year. Forsberg continues to be their best player, but it's a great hire. I love Barry Trotz as a GM. Maybe they waited too long, but we've seen coaches wait until August to get fired. I love the hire in Nashville. It's a great move.
Is Barry Trotz done coaching in the NHL?
It looks that way.
Or
Yeah,
he's
done. He's done. He's the new general manager in Nashville. He will take over for David Poile when his contract is officially up in.
Okay.
It should be of note too that Barry Trotz has very strong connections here still, and has talked warmingly of Nashville. Still has his home here and everything like that. So you always felt like he was going to come back one way or another. That was the feeling here in this area, anyway.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've talked with a lot of guys, and they say Barry Trotz is one of the best guys down there, and he even said it in his media availability that he loves being there. He kept a home there, even when he was coaching other places. He loves coming back to Nashville. They embraced him there. He was the longest coach ever. He did so much for that franchise. Same with David Poile, but I think Barry Trotz, what he knows. I think he's going to be a great GM. Nashville, again, the cap situation. Can they move some contracts out? Can they get younger? Again, one of the knocks on Hines was not playing enough of the young players. That's why the reason like Eli Tolvanen got on waivers. He was not happy, and then he goes to Seattle and lights it up. I think if he was more open to playing the young players, I think Tolvanen's still there. But again, hindsight's 2020. You got a new coach. Brunette's going to be fine, and Nashville's going to be fine too. But it's a tough division.
Hindsight. Let's see what you did. Look at you, Jim. Look at you.
Yeah, well.
That's the reason I watch your show. Little puns like that.
Hey, little puns like that, right? Little puns like that.
They add up to a big pun.
Jim, what's going to happen in Pittsburgh, man?
All right, so here's the deal. We know Kyle Dubas is new general manager, right? He signed, 7-year deal, whatever the number is. It doesn't matter. He's new. He's a new president of hockey operations. He's the interim GM until they hire one. He'd probably want both roles. That's the big reason why he left Toronto. He wasn't going to get more power. Okay, he goes to Toronto. That whole mess in Toronto was just weird. It was a weird situation. How everything from start, it was just weird. He's in Pittsburgh. He's leaving a situation that he left in Toronto to a similar situation in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's up against the cap with $20 million. They got an aging team. I think they get one more year out of this group before he's got to make tough decisions. We have not seen him make tough decisions. He was open to making the tough decision, but he never got the chance because he kind of waffled on it, and Brendan Shanahan decided to go in a different direction. But the Penguins need goaltending, they need defense, and they need depth forwards, and they have to sign Jake Getzel because he is the future of that team. But if I'm Kyle Dubas, I know he's like, don't underestimate Crosby and all these guys. Guess what? They're older, they're aging. It's a tough division. They may have one more run in them. But again, the Pittsburgh Penguins teams I've seen that got to the first round always lost. They haven't won a playoff series since 2018. They've been knocked out of the first round. 2 years they didn't even make the playoffs. The year they lost in the play-in round, they didn't make the playoffs in my book. You lost in the play-in round, you didn't even make the playoffs. This team needs goaltending. They got to figure out a way. With John Gibson on the market, I think that's a good fit. I think they need to address that right away. You may have to move money out, maybe move a guy like Jeff Carter. It's tough with guys have no move clauses, but they have to free up money, and they have to get a goaltender.
Jim, I think I heard it. I either read it or heard it on Full Press Hockey here. Full Press Hockey. Is he going to be cleaning house in the front office too? Once everything's established.
I mean, he still has to hire a general manager. I think he's going to, look at what else he can do. I do not believe he's going to fire Mike Sullivan. I just don't believe it. From indications I get, I think he believes in Sullivan. He would be that would be a stupid move because then he'd be gobbled up by the Rangers right away. I don't think so. I think he's going to keep Sullivan there. I just think, who is he going to bring in as the general manager, assistant general manager? Who does he look to? I keep hearing that goes to Pittsburgh, maybe because he was there in Toronto. Jason Spezza, does Spezza follow him to Pittsburgh? Those guys were really tight. Spezza was kind of being groomed to do stuff. So I would not be surprised if Spezza goes there. Maybe Botterill comes back. So he's both the interim GM and president of hockey operations. The draft is coming up. He's got work to do. Does the GM get hired soon? I'm not sure. I think Dubas may announce himself as both, to be honest.
Gotcha. All right, let's stick with Toronto here. The Maple Leafs out here getting Brad Trevlin. What's his impact for Toronto? What to expect? Is he going to keep those guys around? Is he going to be able to keep those guys around?
Look, Brad Trevlin, it's a great hire. I know a lot of people point to what happened in Calgary, losing Gaudreau. Look, Gaudreau was going to be a Flame until the night before, and then he decided that he didn't want to stay. Kachuk at least told him he got a nice return with Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar. So that was a solid return. Again, the coach there, those two players, just not a great fit for me and a lot of those players. So I think those two players have bounced back. Look, comes in, says the right thing, says we don't want to change for the sake of change. Are we different? Yeah, but are we better? I don't know. And then so he wants to evaluate the team, know the players, know the coach, get to know everybody before he has to make any big decisions. He's open to anything, but he knows those guys are skillful. Again, I think they have to figure out a way to move on from one of those guys. Austin Matthews is the priority to get him signed, lock him up, long-term deal, figure out the correct AAV. He'll probably be over McKinnon and then go from there. If he wants 15, you better give him an 8-year deal. But I think it's going to be like 13-something. And then you figure out how you move things around. And then maybe you make the hard conversation. You talk to Tavares. I know he's the captain, but teams are looking for guys with net front presence. Maybe you can figure out a way to do that. You got to move Matt Murray. That's going to be tough. He's got a lot of work to do. But again, defense is a priority. You got to open up cap space, depth forward. But he's the right man for this job, right man for this market. I like the hire.
Love it.
Talk about Seattle, Jim. What do they have to do to take the next step, do you think?
I think they just got to continue to be themselves. I mean, Ron Francis got a new contract extension, and, he's done right. He's built two good teams. Let's not forget what he did in Carolina, like bringing in defensive guys, the drafting, the developing of players. He's done a really good job of putting teams together. Yeah, the first year wasn't great. Okay, Seattle wasn't great. All right. We all knew they weren't going to be that good offensively. But when you bring in a Matty Beniers, you sign a Borkowski, you get a healthy Jaden Schwartz. They were picking the right players because they knew they were going for the future. They're not going to be in win now mode, but they're going to look to improve because they have stockpiles of draft picks. Maybe they move some of those picks to add some players. Their goaltending is good. Let's see if they get better. But again, they're taking the steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
There you go. I'm sorry. There you go. Let's talk sports, fans. you know what I'm saying? If you like hockey and you want to learn about hockey and listen to hockey talk, this is the man to check out for real. Seriously.
Yo.
Follow to
You know what I'm saying? I
see.
mean, I wish it was on more. You know what I'm saying? I wish more people liked hockey because hockey's a lot of fun, bro. So
See what
it's a
happened,
great.
Jim?
I get
Go ahead.
followers. I got people loving the sport, into the game, just because of talking about it. Look, we need to talk more hockey. It's a great sport. I know it doesn't get the love that it should,
Yeah.
but it's a fun sport. It's getting ugly in this game right now. Kachuk is getting ugly. Oh, that is just stupid by Matthew Kachuk. I mean, it is getting ugly at the end of the second period. But it's just a great sport to watch. And if you ever been to a game live, you have to go. Heck, if you guys want to come to Jersey, I'll take you to a game. That's it. Then we'll just go. We'll have a great
There we
experience.
go. There's our invite.
bro, that's my favorite sport to watch live.
We're not going to Hoboken. I know what that place is.
We're not going to Hoboken.
Do you think the strike a few years ago has not allowed people to come back again? Do you think that's what it is? Or?
Yeah, I think that the television deal, where it was always hard to find, where can we watch it? But yet the viewers were there when the game. I think people tune in for the playoffs. They tune in for those big games, the outdoor games.
Yeah.
And, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
Yeah,
interesting,
the
man.
more exposure, the more it's easy to find and watch. I think more people will gravitate to it. So yeah.
Yeah, go tell baseball that. That'd be great.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And hear them cry about their ratings suck. Well, I'll tell you why. But I ain't gonna get into that right now. And it's not right now.
No, that's not. That's another show. We can talk about ratings. We can talk
That's
about
far
this.
away.
I don't have notes for that, Tanner. Jeez.
I'll give you notes. You don't want it.
I'll tell you. Hey, Sam, this is the most important thing you need to know about ratings. Okay, the viewership number don't mean anything anymore. Okay, this isn't the 90s. You know what matters? The number in 18 to 49. If you hit the key demo, you're fine. That's the number. Doesn't matter about total viewers anymore. It used to. Everybody looks at total numbers. Everybody touts total numbers. You know what I look at? I look at the demo. Where's it falling? If you're doing 0.5 or above, you're doing your job.
I love that.
Nice.
That's actually a great point.
Does
I got
it-
two more pieces.
Does it strike midnight, Jim? Does it strike midnight, those ratings?
Yeah, they might. They just might. They just might.
I'm in. I'm going to end every tweet with strike midnight.
Strike midnight. That's all you're gonna do now. I got two off-season more moves here that have happened here in the last week and a half since we talked last.
Yeah, I know.
Bodkins, Jim.
I know, right? It's crazy. So much has happened since we've been off.
Legit.
Legit. Everything's like happened.
I almost said screw it and almost called you and said let's just put a show together last Monday, but I was like, no. I got a grill.
I was watching the game. I was away. I had a little bit of siesta, but I was still working. That was the part. I was in Vermont and I'm still working. Like I'm still on doing everything. And I'm like just taking like different location and I was just eating it up and it was great. And you saw I've set the thing in the Keith for his show. It's like, still on vacation, sending in spots. Like, let's just do this right now.
I love it, man. I love it. So two more things here. Let's talk about Mike Babcock here. Back in the NHL, coming into the Columbus Blue Jackets as the next head coach. What's the thoughts here, man?
I mean, you got to separate, as I've said everywhere, you got to separate the guy and what you've heard from the coach himself. You look at the coach, what Mike Babcock's done with Detroit, with Anaheim, with Toronto. He's made those teams better. He's a good coach. Let's see if he's learned not to have my way or the highway, right? You can't have that anymore in today's NHL with the young guys, the speed. He's been around UVM. He's been up in Calgary. He's been around the university guys. He must have said something to Jarmo Kekalainen to say this is the guy, right? So I think he understands that. How he implements Johnny Gaudreau, Patrick Laine, Wenberg, guys like that. Columbus is years away from competing. Let's be honest, a couple seasons away. They got to fix their goaltending, things like that. He's a good coach. Again, I will say this about anything. I am not prejudging anybody about what I've heard, what I've read, I haven't seen it. I wasn't there. I don't know anything about it. You can read about it, whatever. I wasn't there. And when I shake the guy's hand, I'm going to tell him that. Look, when I talk to him, media availability, whatever, I'm going to say, hey, what's going on? But I'm going to tell him off record, whatever. I'm going to say, hey, I'm coming in with no preconceived notions, no prejudgment. Let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we got going here? So,
and those are the best things. Like, oh man, the guy you talked to yesterday that posted this morning, he talked to one of the Vegas players and got the trust in there. Like, hey, I'm loyal. I ain't gonna break the stupid stuff. Like, I'm gonna make sure I help you. At the same time, make sure I'm breaking news.
Right, exactly. Like Eichel, like with the thing with Jack Eichel,
Eichel. There you go.
When he was saying what he goes in, he's like, he goes to him, he shakes his hand, he says, "Look, I don't know you don't know me. I've heard things from from Buffalo. Those are preconceived. I could care less what happened in Buffalo. You and I are gonna be honest." And then Jack's like, "Yo, I appreciate that, man." And they've been cool ever since. So.
Yeah, exactly. And no problem there. So, all right, the final one I have, it's a player now, and it's something that dropped, I believe, a week and a half ago. Avs Landeskog being officially out. Who do they replace him with? I heard Killorn in the possible replacements, but I know there has to be others out there. But what's your thoughts here?
So look, this was a big thing, and I'm doing two things at once. I know.
You're
You're
skilled like that, man. You're skilled.
Yeah, I know. Multitasking. So with Landeskog, if you go find some of my stuff pre-trade deadline, I could probably pull it up. The big thing for me was Colorado needed a number 2 center, right? They need to replace him. Alex Killorn. They have JT Compher. He's really not that guy. They needed to get a legit number 1 center. I said it before the deadline. I respect Pierre LeBrun. I respect all those insiders. I said it. I will say it again. He was not coming back. Landeskog was not coming back. He wasn't coming back for the rest of the regular season. He was going to come back in the playoffs. That was a timeline I was given until he re-injured himself. He was coming back for the playoffs, and they should have used the LTIR space. They will do it. But they have to get a legit number 2 center. The problem is they're up against the cap. They cannot move that contract until the day before the season to get under the cap. He can be there. They can sign somebody, but they're going to have to move money out, and they're going to have to figure it out. But they need a number 2 center. Who do they go after? Do they try to get Kevin Hayes from Philadelphia? Do they try to find somebody? The problem is the center depth is not great this year in the UFA market. You're going to have to trade for somebody. Who do they go after is the question, but they need to get a number 2 center to go behind McKinnon. They had Kadri. They couldn't afford him. He was a great fit. He could play anywhere. He could play number 1. They need somebody that can eat those minutes, especially if McKinnon gets hurt and stuff. So, but they have to open up that LTIR space. They have to open up cap space, and that's what they have to do. And I was saying it before. I'll say it again. I hope we get to see Gabriel Landeskog come back. It's going to be tough. Mark Bathard had this similar injury, but he was older. He really didn't recover from it. So we're going to have to see if that happens. Also, Patrick Kane with the hip resurfacing. That's a similar injury and surgery to what Nicholas Backstrom, the Capitals, had. Again, he's older, but it takes time. 4 to 6 months. Yeah, 4 to 6 months recovery. But let's add 2 more months on because you're skating and you're doing all this. It's a full year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully Backstrom and Landeskog can play it out before they have to retire because of injury, but we'll see. Again, it's gonna be crazy.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting there. By the way, quick comments here before you get you out of here, Jim. Alan out here says, "Don't mention Barry Trotz. Mad New Yorker Carlos will pop in and start ranting about him."
Yeah, he didn't like Barry Trotz in New York. He loved him when he got fired. It was a bad move then. It's a bad move now. Yeah. Oh, Carlos. Oh, Carlos.
Alan, I know, right? Poor Carlos. Alan says Jim Behringer equals ultimate multitasker.
Thanks,
Alan.
Watch
out, man.
Strikes
I'm
midnight.
over here. I got my 4 screens out here. I saw some tweets coming into play a minute ago while we're talking, man. I'm all about it. I love it.
Dude, you gotta keep on
news while doing shows, man.
I mean, you still gotta be on it.
Hey, Rappaport and all them do it. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah,
Hey,
why
they
not,
all
right?
they all do it. They're all
Yeah.
on. They're all this. This is what you
There you
see.
go.
They're like this. They're like
Right.
literally like this. Meanwhile, I'm off the screen, like trying to be like still professional about it.
Got it, like, yeah, man, look at that goal happen. Man, as you're talking about totally complete different subjects. So
Right. Exactly. So
that's impressive.
it's the hockey's such a great sport, and we need more hockey talk. And look, it started with learning time with Jim on Buffoons and Bodkins, and it's expanded even more. And that's what I love. And I love coming on here, bringing the knowledge. And, again, I tell everybody, the grind never stops. It's just, you got to keep going, bring the knowledge, bring the questions, just do your research. And, just being around a game for how long I've seen it, writing the keys to every game, looking at the series. As a player, I could see what things are going to unfold, and everything's unfolding like I've seen it happen. Like I'm in the series right now. So, it's
That's awesome,
again,
bro.
it's 4-0 after 40 minutes. It's getting ugly. Kachuk's hit on Eichel. Hopefully, Eichel's not hurt too seriously. He was near the neck.
Oh,
Look
So
at that helmet fly off. Wow.
yeah, so
No.
it's so hopefully, I mean, if I'm Vegas, if I'm Vegas, I'm probably keeping him out the rest of the game, just precaution. Hopefully nothing too serious. You got a couple of days off, but again, this is the stuff that they're going to try to do in the third period as we go on. But again, point to it. Vegas has a different mindset. Bill Foley, first 6 years, he wants a Stanley Cup. This team is embracing that right now.
Oh,
let's
there
check it
is.
out. Whoa.
Oh.
Kachuk better have his head on a swivel from now until the end of the series because
I mean,
They're
that's
coming
in.
it.
That guy-
he got him in the shoulder, but he went
Did that
down
show up?
hard.
My bad. I showed up.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean that's a big time hit.
He's almost lunging forward at the same time.
God dang.
But the way
Yeah,
he
that's
hit, it's a tough one. The way he hit.
Ready. That guy's ready to play basketball after that hit. He's like, put me
Yeah.
in, coach.
that hit
Hey,
brings me back
wait,
to Ulf Sanderson and Cam
Bro,
Newton.
that's one of the things
Oh.
that I never understand is whenever people talk about the greatest athletes ever, you don't ever hear them talk about hockey players. And it's like,
I
are
got-
you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
wanna hear-
These guys
you wanna
are
hear a
doing all this
story?
stuff on skates, yo.
You want to hear a
Crazy.
story, real quick?
Yeah,
You wanna hear a
always.
story?
Always.
Story
You guys
time
wanna
with
hear-
Jim. Story
All
time
right.
with Jim.
This is from my personal experience playing. I had to have a doctor make an apparatus to protect my stomach because I had my appendix out, and I wanted to play in a playoff game so badly. And he's like, "You're crazy." I was like, "I'm a hockey player, bro. I'm a hockey player." I took 10 stitches one time, and I just played, and I played later on in the week. Like,
Right.
this is like nothing. Getting hurt is like, yeah, whatever. I broke a pinky in the middle of a tournament. I kept playing. Like, it's
Yeah,
like
hockey player.
Yes. we're a different breed.
You're not missing
We
a game because you got a headache.
Missing a game. How about missing a shift? Like, don't
Right,
even
right.
miss a shift.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
not
stitch it up
even.
and keep on
What was
going.
that guy who had like, what was it? It was on his cheek or like he had the slice. He got sliced this year. And,
Oh
like,
yeah. The guy from Winnipeg. Dude
Yeah.
just took a skate to the head, came back 75 stitches later. Like, yeah, bro.
Just
Like, this is
ready to go.
nothing. Ain't nothing.
all right, we're done.
Ooh.
That's it. We're ready to go. So
Blows my mind. All right, Jim, we're gonna get you out of here, man. Appreciate you joining on a premiere
Thank you,
show.
man.
You'll be back every Monday
Thanks,
with
Jim.
us, same time, same bad channel. So excited for that. Go check out Jim at Full Press Hockey. Great podcast. It drops in the Let's Talk Sports Facebook group as well, and I'll be retweeting it. Of course, you can find Jim on Twitter at Jim Behringer and his Let's Talk Sports show, Let's Talk Pucks. So tons in there for Jim. Stuff goes on all the time. This is where I'm learning a lot of my hockey this year is from the Full Press Hockey podcast while I go to work and back, and also the Let's Talk Pucks. So Jim, appreciate you coming on, dude.
Thanks, Jim.
Hey
Thank
guys,
you, man.
thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be on here Monday night, close out the week strong with you guys.
right.
I love it. The new show. And thanks for the promotion, Tanner. Yeah, Let's Talk Pucks. We'll be back 4 p.m. on Wednesday. We're going to just highlight everything, what's going on. talk some things, and then we get you ready. And then obviously check us out on Twitter at Full Press NHL. Every game, the only pregame show you need to listen to get you ready for each of the Stanley Cup final games. So I know I come off cocky and confident with that, but we do bring a good job every time. And check us out again, Full Press Hockey NHL podcast. We'll drop another one this week sometime after game 2. I'll figure out who I'm getting on because I want to bring the heat again.
I love it, man. Keep it up, man. You're doing a great job. So
thanks, guys. Yo,
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on again. Enjoy the rest of your night. Keep up the good work with this great show.
Thank you, bro.
See you,
Thank
Jim.
you,
Appreciate
Jim.
you, buddy.
Later, boys.
Later.
That
Jim
Let's
Beard,
Talk
bro,
Pucks,
Bro,
man.
he's nice, bro. He's nice
He's
with his
man.
stuff, bro.
Let's Talk Pucks.
Man, I
That's
tell
a
ya,
danger.
man.
That Let's Talk Pucks is a dangerous title, though, if you say it fast. Like, let's talk pucks. Let's talk about
man.
it.
You see, Nick? There you go. That's why he's here.
That's why he's gone today. Just gonna get there.
I already made my movie reference earlier. I've got to fill out the boxes. I got to fill out the boxes that Tanner sent me.
Hurry up before Nick shows up Thursday.
Oh,
again.
I got to come up with a catchphrase. Oh boy. Oh, strikes midnight.
Guys, we are officially in the hour 2. Welcome to hour 2 of the Let's Talk
made
Sports
it.
Show.
We made it.
Hey, we made it. I've already passed 1 hour. Tanner Dawson here, LTS @ Tanner on Twitter. I got the Yankee Fin, Mr. Johnny Cruz down here, SJ Cobe 1, Mr. Scott Cobe, and Mr. First Down, not with an S, Sam. What's up, baby?
Hey,
Mr. Bodkins will be back with us Thursday to host this thing. He's out doing family duty. So, guys, welcome in. Welcome in hour 2. This is going to be a blast. We got baseball here halfway through this show, through hour 2 here, and we're going to be excited. Now, I want to talk here. Let's talk about what we continued on from hour 1 there, Scott. Let's talk about our bets we had, right? The close wins, butt clinching, right? I mean, I'm over here like, oh, please let that count as assist to that Jamal Murray, the Joker, for that last Joker basket. Because, man, I was like, I thought he took too long and they were going to count it. But they counted it as his 10th assist, got that double-double, put down, I think it was 25, 110. So, I mean, how better off can that be?
Not much better off, and the Jokic PRA hit by over 4, so I was happy with that. Sweating it out because Jokic didn't pass the ball like usual, so he had to score 41 for the cash. Oh, absolutely.
I had to bet. I had a bet on the triple double as well for Joker, but it was a smaller bet.
And the other thing that surprised me is Jimmy Butler. You know, is he hurt? There's rumors going around that he's injured. He's got something wrong with him. So well, there's the rumor going around apparently by Skip Bayless as well that his dad's not doing well, which is I hope that's not true because I mean that's the most unfortunate thing to have. That's worse than injury to me, you know. And it's because that's an emotional, mental deal on top of having the finals, being the comeback. Absolutely.
Like, I mean, you don't want to see it from a guy like that.
No doubt. No doubt. So real quick here. Alan says Sam's got a checklist of stuff he has to do per show. No, Sam has a checklist to do per show when Nick's not here. Otherwise, he's going to get made fun of nonstop.
Tanner accidentally put "shut up and don't speak unless spoken to" at the bottom of the list and not the top. That's his fault.
All right, Scott. Sorry, you can continue, buddy.
So now your object of Miami betting wise turns to 2 guys, Bam Adebayo and Gabe Vincent. Because Gabe Vincent's started off in the series really hot. So can he continue that in Miami? I think he can. And Bam Adebayo has been really unstoppable down in the low post. So
and I think Eric giving him more control of the offense, running the offense through him, I think he stepped up. Yeah. So you got to give him props for that, for Bam doing that. You know, he's a good defensive player, good rebounder. Can you help us, run an offense? And he showed that there. And guys made shots. And it always winds up coming down to that. Guys making shots. Like I said, my biggest issue is going to be the young others from, like Charles Barkley, say whatever, how they play in Miami, especially these next 2 games. Like, I think Denver has to win game 3. I think if Denver loses game 3, they are in risk of losing game 4 as well.
Yes, I agree.
And then it's going to be, you got to win 2 out of, 2 out of 3. or 3, you know what I'm saying, whatever. I don't know, man.
I don't
So
want to
it's gonna be
give.
hard.
I don't want to give any momentum.
Denver needs
to
this
Miami
game, I
right
think.
now.
Those kids got to be able to show they can do it.
So the thing with here's the thing. Denver's only a 2.5 point favorite tomorrow night, Wednesday night against Miami. That's it, 2.5. So, take tonight for an example. In baseball, the Astros were underdog going to Toronto, and they smoked Toronto tonight, 11-4.
Underdogs.
So to me,
Toronto.
You have to look at it and say Denver's going to win that game by at least 5 points and maybe a little bit more. So I would side with Denver in Game 3 if it stays at 2. It could drop down to like 1. It could almost be a pick'em. So,
do you think? I guess I don't know. Like it's interesting with this matchup here. So I was looking at actually some of the numbers, Scott, of just what's out there right now for player props. Bam's an interesting one. He has points is over or under 18.5. And you can get that at -120 as your best bet over there on I believe it's MGM right now. No, MGM points bet. Or 19.5 at -104 on FanDuel for over. You can go under for, of course, not being the favorite, of course, at -105. But would you take that over points? 18 or 19.5?
I don't think he's going to have 20 on Wednesday night. I think the Denver's coaching staff is going to say, we got to slow Bam down. That he's been the key in those first 2 games right now for Miami. Is if he goes for 25, Miami's going to win the game, I think. Because
you got to think it's a similar deal, though. Like they're playing Joker, right?
Yeah.
And that was how they play the Lakers. Like, let AD score 30. Let AD score 40.
Yeah.
Let Bam score 28. Let Bam score 32. Right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Take away your outsides, but you're not taking away the outside, and that's their issue.
Yeah. Right. I think Bam could have 20 Wednesday night. I think it's highly possible. I think that, but Denver is going to come out swarming and really mad.
Yeah, they're going to be pissed.
So I think their defense is going to step up. It has to. It has to. They've got to stop. Right? They got to stop Miami somehow, because if you take Butler out of the mix, Butler was in 12, 13 points until late in the game, and then he hit a couple of buckets. Right. So to me, Bam is the key for Denver, and they got to find a way to slow him down. So I wonder if they're going to put somebody like Aaron Gordon exclusively on him to slow him down, because Gordon is athletic, can pull, stuff like that. So
they got to use their size. They got to use their size advantage and use it effectively. Like you're bigger, but you're also a little more talented than the starting lineup and bench outside of maybe a few guys, right? You got to be able to implement that.
No doubt. No doubt.
Absolutely, they have to do that.
And you got to find a way to get Jokic to be a facilitator for the rest of the team in Game 3, because, like we said earlier, if he's not, Denver's not running their offense optimum level. There's something missing.
No,
so
you're not going to do that if it's that way, right? And
exactly.
I don't know. There's so many different things that each team has to do after first 2 games, right? Obviously, Game 1, it was a lot of letting the others. Joker had 13 assists and 2 boards with 10 points going into halftime. Yeah. And then he ended up getting his 10 boards, 15, 16 assists. So they kind of shut him down in the second half a little bit. Yeah. But it didn't really matter because they were up so much in the first half.
Right.
And then Game 2, they took that same approach and they ran with it, and it worked out. Joker scored 40. They still won the game because Murray couldn't shoot the ball. He had 0 points all the way up to mid of the second quarter in that. Right. And so, I was worried on because I had my double, right? And I was like, oh no, it's not what I want to see, because he had 0 points, 1 assist. And I'm like, dude, we got to step this up here, right? This is money here, right?
Come on. Papa needs a new monitor. Come on.
That's
why, go, baby. I need a 5th right here.
And the one thing I will say is Malone also said post game that the reaction and the body language of the Nuggets players after they missed shots was like, oh, damn, I missed a shot. And they put their head down, and it affected them on the defensive end. So he's got to find a way to get them back dialed in.
That bothered Michael, too. That had to bother Malone.
Yes, it did. Michael Malone. I'm telling you, that's what I was mentioning earlier about the adjustments. And are these young kids going to be able to step it up and play up to their abilities. That's what we got to wait and see what they do, because if they can't, and again, I think don't worry. I'm with Tanner. Let Bam do what he has to do. Let him get his points.
Mhm.
Don't let everybody else, you know what I'm saying, go off as well. And don't let that affect your offense. They need to be able to play their offense without, you know what I'm saying, don't let the lack of defense. Miami's probably going to score if they're hitting their shots. It is what it is.
Yeah.
They got a lot of shooters. So if they're
Look at
making
the Celtics
shots, they're
did,
going
right?
to score. You got to make sure you continue to score and don't let them, you know what I'm saying, don't let the defense affect your offense.
Sometimes
in my
teams get
opinion.
hot. Look at the Celtics, right? They got
Right.
hot for two games in a row, right? And then that game 7 game came in, or I guess 3 games in a row. But and then the game 7 game, that 4th game, you couldn't hit a lick, right? And that's what happens though. NBA, like some days you're hot, some days you're not. Sometimes it's a streak. You know, and Miami played their hearts out last night. And you saw it being that kind of fact that it was massive. Like it's what they needed. But I also think in a way, they know they have the three days off or whatever it is now in the finals, but you have that time off to recuperate, so you can go all out. But I'm just worried that they're going to get to the 4th, 5th game and they're going to be worn out because they already played a 7-game series when they should have ended it in 4.
Right.
How much do you got left? Right, that's the name of the game. How much you got?
Well, here's the question: Tyler Hero's coming back supposedly. What do you do with him?
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah, but again, he hasn't played in a long time. I mean, and whatever, shooting is shooting. He can spot up somewhere and shoot.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't take
just come in the
Robinson off
game
the
in a
court.
playoff game, right? Not after how he played in game 2.
If he comes
You gotta
back,
keep him
are
on
they
there.
going to play the great Rico Iglesias? I could be your hero, baby. Like just echoing throughout the court.
But
People
the
crying.
thing
I
is,
can take away your pain.
Pain, baby.
but
You
here's
take
the thing:
my breath away.
you can't take Duncan Robinson off the court. You can't take Duncan Robinson off the court because of what he's done. Okay,
Correct.
you can't move around your rotation just to get Hero back in. So does Hero become the guy that plays in garbage time, say, or what do you do with him?
I think
Because-
depending on practice, you got to give him some run with the second team at least. If he's showing you in practice that he can play, you can't not play the kid. You got to put him with you got to bring him off the bench and try to work him into the second team.
20 at least, and maybe that includes with Hero coming in the court off the bench here. Maybe that includes Butler getting a little bit more rest,
right?
Which is massive for teams. Maybe a Martin, maybe a Strus, right? Getting some of these starters some more rest and using Tyler Hero to get his feet underneath him again, but also giving those guys rest so they can come out firing when it's when they get back. So I mean, I think there's ways to use them. I don't necessarily think that there's a wrong way. I think the only wrong way would be putting him back in the starting lineup. Screwing that chemistry.
Yeah. No, I don't think you can do that. I think Eric Spoelstra is smart enough to realize you don't want to mess with that right now.
Him and Pat Riley. I've probably been talking about it, right?
Right. I'm sure
nonstop.
I just kind of feel like Miami's going to lose a piece of themselves for everything they throw on the court. That's just kind of how I feel.
I'm hoping for 7, man. I'm hoping for 7 battles, all the way down. Game winner, game 7, and I don't care who wins. I don't have a dog in the fight.
Johnny wants more the emotion, baby. He wants it.
Especially when I don't have a dog in the fight.
Yes, Johnny, that is the passion. It's the passion.
Competition and not worry about it.
And
you watch the best of the best going at it for that title. Yes, man, it's awesome, and you got great players here.
Yeah.
It's a great story either way. If Denver and Jokic win, it's a great story. If Jimmy Butler drags that number 18
the best story
to a chip, that's insane.
Yeah,
so
that's
props to him. So I'm saying I win either way. I just hope for good games along the way.
I think you're definitely looking at 6 games, Johnny. I don't think
at least. But it could be 5 if Miami wins tomorrow. If Miami wins game 3.
I said 5, right? And they got their W already. So
yeah,
I mean, give me 3 more games.
You went Miami in 5?
No, I went Nuggets in 5.
You had Nuggets in 5?
I went Nuggets.
It could go
Nuggets.
I would not be shocked if it
Jason
went either way.
Miami.
That's
it wouldn't shock me either way if that wound up happening.
It'll be interesting there. Yeah, and we'll be talking about this again on Thursday in our
Yep.
second hour. So this will be entertaining because Game 3 will be finished as well. So that's going to be the fun part of it all. So that's going to be a blast here. But guys, it's time. It's time to do it. Our second premiere guest on this premiere show, and it's just going to be fun here. Real quick here before we do it, let's bring in our other big ad read here. Owner's Box. Guys, if you don't know what Owner's Box is, it's pretty similar to what FanDuel DraftKings is. DFS stuff going on daily. It's actually interesting too because they do smaller rooms and smaller deals as well. So it's not limited because there's tons of room, but you're able to actually have a better chance to win more than Owner's Box. That's what I experienced at least there. So you can use promo code LTS as well on this one. You get a chance. You get a matching deposit up to $500 on Owner's Box by using promo code LTS. So you put 400 in, you get 400. You put 500 in, you get 500. You put 100 in, you get 100. So make sure you guys do that here for your DFS. Another great DFS app as well. Download it on your phone today or go online simply. So another great app for this network here.
And another great ad read, Tanner. Look at you.
Thanks. Well done.
Two for two. Woo!
Yes,
Watch out. I can't wait for
Smoking.
Nick to read these.
He's got the hot hand.
Watch out for Tanner on the local radio station reading ads and reads and stuff now. So
I'm a little
They won't
late
let
on
me
this.
on the local, dude.
I'm a little late
on this because of how my brain works right now. But he said Strikes Midnight, and it makes me feel like it's a bad 90s action movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Reminds me of The Office.
it Strikes Midnight. I don't know. It'd be like him and Dolph Lundgren or something, you know.
Right, I know, right? Oh man. All right. Let's get this thing rolling, guys. Let's bring him in. Happy 4th year anniversary to Mr. Jonathan Grishman of the Alpha Performance here. Happy 4th year, dude.
Nice. Happy anniversary, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And Jonathan, I always got to ask you, like we do every Monday. Happy to have you on, by the way, on this Let's Talk Sports premiere, as we will have you every Monday at this time here. So excited to keep this thing going from Buffoon and Bodkins, man. How was the weekend?
Weekend was good. I haven't seen you guys. I know you, last week and whatnot. So a lot of things. I mean, obviously with our anniversary, when I started Alpha, June 1st, 2019, it was that day. So we got to be able to celebrate that part. What I did for that, on top of it, we had a tournament. Then my 16 team, we took first place now right out at that time. So their very first tournament of the season, run undefeated in that one. So got a nice little championship out of that group. This weekend, I got to travel down to South Texas this weekend for a college showcase. Had a handful of my girls. Actually got a chance to talk to some of the schools that were out there. A couple of them that are interested in my girls. For potential visits. So I'm very excited about that. That's exactly what I'm wanting, and what my goal is for all my athletes is to have that opportunity. So very, very pleased on that on that aspect of games itself. We played well in the games themselves. We didn't hit, and that part bothered me more than anything else. Being a hitting coach, not being able to score runs as much as we probably should have, or make big hits. That I didn't sleep very well just because of that aspect of what we did not do. But again, we go to showcases to go talk to colleges and educate them on how to speak. Like I had some of my younger girls come in to help, and I basically told them, "Here's your flyer. Go shake their hand, introduce yourself, and tell them a little bit about yourself." And again, these girls are freshmen. They'll be sophomores this year, or sophomores are going to be juniors, and they're just nervous as can be about it. But I said, no, this is you. They don't want to talk to me. They want to talk to you. So go introduce yourself. Go talk to them, because I'm going to talk to them at some point. That's my job. I'm going to talk to them. But I want to have the conversation with them, saying, "Oh yeah, I talked to a couple of your girls." That's when I can come in and help out a little bit. But you need to do this. So I educate. So there's a lot of education for them. In their first experience on how to communicate to colleges was a very good aspect and very good learning experience for them. My 10U team played this weekend. They finished in second place in their tournament this weekend. So it was very good showing for them. They battled and did a really good job. I'm very proud of that group. That's one of the most that's probably one of the most successful teams in the organization. That group is just scrappy as can be.
Yeah.
I love them. They're not the biggest team, but they will battle their little hearts out. So I love to see that group just go out and compete. And then my 14U team, they actually just got done finishing today. They played in Oklahoma City for the Women's College World Series, hosted 14U tournament, played Saturday, Sunday, and then they finished up today. They finished in third place in that tournament as well. So everybody just performing, and everybody's is doing what they're supposed to be doing and competing hard, and makes me the happiest person in the not only in the organization, but the happiest person on the planet right now, just to see that those kids are succeeding like they are right now.
So how was coaching again? How was coaching again?
Oh yeah, that's right. He was coaching.
Oh yeah.
Yes, back 2 weekends in a row. It felt good. No rust from me. No rust. Right into it, and we made some decisions and won some games. Like I said, won a championship my first weekend back this season, which was a lot of fun. And got to coach some girls for the first time that they joined us this year. So they got their first experience of how I think and how I work. It was definitely they looked at me and go, how do you like they see they're learning. I see things differently than what they played for and the coaches they played for. They're just sitting asking me like, how did you know this, or how did you think? I was like, this is just experience. This is experience. This is what I'm trying to teach y'all. This is what I'm getting into your heads, where you can see the game in a different way that I see it. So it was a lot of fun. I was very glad to get back on the field and be able to coach and compete with them last weekend. This past weekend as well with my girls. And like I said, it was more of this weekend was just go play in front of colleges. I'll work with y'all. I'll do this, but you're gonna go play. Like my job with my 18U team is a manager, basically. Go play the game. I'm there for you when y'all need it, but they're gonna see y'all play, not me coach. So that's the dynamic. They're still learning from me right now with that group on the 18U team. The 16U team, it's a lot of fun with that group. That is the strong personality team. They will dance, they will sing, they're gonna go have some fun, but they're gonna go kick some butt while they do it too. So I love that group, and they got their big tournament this weekend that I'm looking forward to getting on the field with them for.
So no need to make them cry at all. Can't make any of them cry yet.
No, I'll say there has been that before with a few of my teams that I coach. There has been some of that, and there's something that I'm learning more on how to handle different personalities. But there is some of that. They get the tough love out of Coach Jonathan at times. They do get that here and there.
That's good. That's good. Keep them tough. Keep them tough.
That's how you take care of business. That's how you keep your team honest and see who's willing to actually put in the work and stick through the program rather than just be there. You know what I mean? If they can take the feedback, however it may come, that's when you know that somebody's dedicated and wants to get better.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I said, the hard part about coaching is you do have so many different personalities, and you have to find you have to find the balance to handle everyone differently at the same time, handle them all together. My 16U team is that kind of team where when I address them as a whole team, they get Coach Jonathan. When I address them individually, they get a different side of me that I know that I have to be. So it's so much learning on the job, especially because I'm a tough person. I'm a tough-minded person. I coach hard. But there's certain ways and certain times that I can be that. And there's certain ways and certain times I have to dial it back. And as I've gotten older and I've learned so much more on the coaching side, I've kind of gotten to balance myself out. And I will say this: I credit that 16U team of mine, because they've kind of put it into me a little bit that goes, hey, this doesn't work all the time for us. We respect you when you're hard ass on us, but it doesn't work all the time. Okay. So I had to reflect. What can I be? How can I be where they showed the respect still for me? They still play their ass off for me, but I'm not crossing lines to where I'm beating them down. And so that's something I've learned a lot.
Props to them for being able to have that confidence and faith in you to be able to be real with you about it.
Also be felt comfortable enough, right? That's huge on a lot of teams.
Right, of course.
Oh, absolutely. Again, that's for how young they are. Absolutely. And that's something that I've given them the opportunity. I tell all the girls that I coach, and the boys too, there's an open door policy. You can talk to me if you pull me to the side one-on-one. We're adults. Let's talk like adults and let's handle things like adults, and we can go from there and grow from there and see how things go as we progress. But when I talk to y'all as a team, I'm coach now, and y'all got again. We're dressing as a team and punishment can happen, or praise can happen. But if we're talking individually, we're talking as adults. We're talking as equals. I give them the opportunity to be equals with me. If they've earned that right and earned the opportunity to be able to do so. But at the same time, for me, being open-minded to hearing them out as adults, as young adults, and giving them that respect to be able to do so.
Absolutely.
I love it, dude. I love it. So,
Epic.
guys, in case you guys don't know, if you want to follow Jonathan, go to Alpha Performance on Facebook. That's his best spot to find him. And there's such great, if you're interested in the Texas area, there you go. It's such a great spot, such a great program, and it's continuing to build. Like I said, it was only 4th year in, and we already got girls signing, scholarships, getting ready to go on college visits, travel teams. Like that's what you want, right? That's what I look forward to. So it's all, man. Solid job, Jonathan. That you done.
It's awesome, bro. It's awesome what you're doing, Jonathan.
I appreciate it.
Totally awesome.
Definitely, guys.
That's on me and wifey's bucket list too, to go to Oklahoma and watch the College World Series.
That's fun. Like I said,
we watch it every year, bro. We watch it every year.
I've gotten into it a lot since I started really getting into coaching softball over the last 5-6 years, and I got to actually go watch a game. I coached a showcase 2 years ago. We had some time off in between, and I went and got tickets for a couple of girls, and we went and we just watched the games. It was a great experience. Like, oh my, I mean, like the fire up passion of it was awesome to see. So highly recommend it. Like I said, we sent my team down to Oklahoma City this weekend to go play out there and be able to experience all that. So they got to meet some of the legends of fast pitch, Jocelyn Allo and Kalani Ricketts, big Oklahoma legends for that Sooner program. So yeah, great experience. Highly recommend it. And that's the thing about it for us is, I want my players to experience some of those things. We're going to go to nationals. We're going to play in nationals in Lafayette, Louisiana next month. Be another great experience opportunity for my girls to be able to have that take place. So we're heading that direction. We're trying to grow and trying to be a big name program to be a national level program one day. That's the goal for it.
Nice. Awesome.
Cool, man. Hey, that's great to hear, though. By the way, we got a comment here from Mr. Jonathan Cruz to for MVP hashtag #FLR. Hey, Nick's not here, dude.
Read the room, man. Read the room, Bob. Read the room, Bob.
Save that for Thursday, Jonathan. Alan says Oklahoma versus Florida State in the championship series. Sooners have won 51 straight.
That's insane.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
Yeah.
You want to talk about dynasties as far as in sports and in North, for us, the Oklahoma Sooners softball program probably is the top dynasty you can talk about in all of, college and professional sports. What they have is it calling them a machine is not doing them justice. Like, it is crazy. I mean, they have probably 15 All-Americans on that team, and it's just all 1 through 9 is an All-American lined up somewhere. It's insane how good they are.
Yeah, and they're beating they're beating teams down, man. They're putting up runs. It's a lot of fun.
And I mean, they're beating some of the best teams in the country that way too. They're not just beating. They're not just beating small teams. They're beating some of the best softball programs in the country in the Women's College World Series tournament, and they're overpowering everyone. It's remarkable. I talk about some of the parents. I talk about it to my girl Stephanie. I go, she hates it. She's like, I'm ready for Oklahoma to lose. I'm like, yes, I get it, but you have to appreciate the dynasty.
You sure?
Yeah, it's 100% true.
I hate Alabama football to a burning passion, being an LSU fan, but I will appreciate what has been built by Alabama in football. The Patriots the same way. You have to just appreciate what you see. You appreciate greatness, and what we're seeing in Oklahoma softball is truly 100% greatness at its core.
I've always been one to. I don't mind a dominant team. I don't mind a David and Goliath thing. Because then sometimes you see when they come down like when Connecticut basketball is another one.
That's
you talk
right.
about a powerhouse.
Yep.
So
That's true.
I'm a Yankee fan, so you'll say we're gonna transition to the Yankees, Jonathan, if you don't mind. It is what it is, man. I got the big picture now, so I get to I get to steer the boat. We got some guys coming back, but at the same time, Aaron Judge might have. We don't know exactly what happened to him. Do you think, they can hold it down without Judge? I don't think they can as long. I don't expect Stanton and everybody else to stay healthy long enough to be able to do it. And there's talk that his toe might be broke. So they don't know if it may be a 60-day type thing. So I think that's a big loss, man. I just wanted your opinion on it while I had the opportunity while I had the big box for a minute.
When is it my turn in the big box? I want to be back in the big box.
I don't know. I'm not the one producing behind the stage.
I'll say, if Judge is out for a good portion of the summer into the going into the second half, that's a huge setback for the Yankees trying to get themselves back in the division race again. The Rays are the top dog still. They've answered the bell every time they've gotten the opportunity to do so. The Orioles are for real. That's another team that's just absolutely playing above what we all expected them to be. I know we all said at some point, like, the Orioles were going to be a good team, but did we really expect them to be right on the heels of the Rays? I don't know. I don't think. I know I didn't. I know there was going to be kind of that conversation, but I think they were going to be in the conversation as far as they are. For the Yankees losing Judge for potentially long term, that's going to be a huge setback. I don't think the batting order is built to be around Judge and have him produce the way he has been producing on historical levels for back-to-back seasons at this point. How do you replace him? That's going to be the biggest question is how do you replace that kind of production? You cannot trust Giancarlo Stanton really to do it a long term throughout the season without suffering another injury. Can Josh Donaldson do the same? Josh Donaldson being older now too, and having more injury history frequently. Can you trust Donaldson to stay healthy and replicate some of the not duplicate Judge, but replicate to a portion of what Judge can be? There's a lot of question marks to be able to say yes to those answers if Judge is out. If Judge was in this lineup, I think that they're going to be, as they get healthier and moving in that direction, they were going to absolutely be in the conversation catching the Orioles and on the heels of the Rays. I think they could have been able to do that. If you take Judge out of this order for a good portion of the season, I don't think so. I just don't see it. Like, I don't know where the production is going to come from because he carries this lineup. And as good as the lineup can be, that's the question mark is how good can it be? It's a lot of Aaron Judge carrying it. And if he's not in the lineup to do so, who is? And I don't know. I don't have the answer to that because we haven't seen guys like Stanton be healthy long enough to do so. We haven't seen Donaldson do it long enough to be able to do so. I don't think you can count on Anthony Rizzo to be the leader of this lineup. I don't think you can count on these guys that have been up and down find consistency and stability to able to produce what they need to continue being in the conversation of a contender in the division.
Well,
I completely agree with that.
Since we won't have a chance to talk about this team tomorrow because Alan will probably be all over the Rangers, let's talk about the Seattle. Let's talk about the Seattle Mariners and what do you see as their problem overall? I mean, they just got swept by Texas. They're inconsistent at best right now. What do you think is the downfall to them right now?
So I'll say this. I did not think about it as much when we talked about it in the preseason, the complete changes they've made. And they made a lot of changes to the lineup. Yeah. You lose Mitch Haniger, and Haniger was a power hitter. That he was up and down. But he was a good player for that lineup. You add in Teoscar Hernandez, who's not he doesn't fit what the lineup needed. Right. You needed some boppers in the lineup. Teoscar Hernandez is not a bopper. Haniger was a bopper for them. So where's the run production? Who's going to drive in runs in this lineup? And that's the biggest question. On top of that, you have strikeout hitters who are not. I mean, if you have high strikeout numbers, what you see mostly is guys who produce RBIs and hit a lot of home runs and have a high slugging percentage.
Yep.
This team doesn't have that. but they have the high strikeout numbers. So you're feast or famine without the feast, if I could put it in that way of it. They're not producing what they need to and it's so hard if you look at it in the division itself. Rangers, one of the, I mean, again, I don't think Allen himself would have predicted the Rangers being one of the best offenses in baseball right now.
Right.
No.
You have the Houston Astros, which we know they're still one of the best offenses in baseball in the American League and in the MLB, one of the best offenses. Angels have Shohei and Trout, and I know they're up and down in themselves, but they're third as far as offense, in my view, offensively, just on paper and in games. So what the Mariners are just, they're not a good lineup. They're not built to be what they need to compete in this division. Power hitting, run producing hitters on the Rangers and Astros. Just talking about those two right there, guys who will drive in runs. And guys will hit the ball very far distance. The Mariners don't have that. And I also go to consideration that Julio Rodriguez is having a very down year right now. He's not producing what they were hoping the superstar that he was supposed to be. The next great center fielder of Seattle. He's kind of fallen short of those expectations.
70 Ks.
So if your leader is not performing to the expectations, there's not a lot you can do, no matter how good the team is supposed to be. And this team is not a good team. So the lineup is built wrong. What they should, and they didn't add the pieces they needed to produce the runs they needed to be able to score with the Rangers and Astros. And that's more the issue. I mean, the pitching has been up and down here and there, but the biggest question mark moving forward, and I think it's going to hurt this team and really be a complete disappointment of a season, is the offensive production or lack of production.
And Jonathan, by the way, the Rangers just won.
Alan just stated it, man.
Yeah.
Rangers just walked off the Cardinals. Simeon has 23 straight games with a hit, 31 straight on base. And by the way, Texas now still with now a 9-2 9-1 last 10 with that W, and puts them at 152 positive differential. Best in baseball currently in the AL. I mean, just overall, AL, NL, doesn't matter where you're at.
To give him credit, Allen felt good about his team. I don't. There's no way he saw this.
Right.
This is our year.
Jonathan, can Texas be the best team in the American League this year? Do you think?
Should it?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
I think you still got to go to Tampa. You still got Tampa. Tampa has the pitching. They have the offense too. Like, they're a complete team. Yeah. So they could match up. They could match up with the Rangers as far as pitching for pitching, and they can score. I think they could be a team that can score with the Rangers as well. So the pitching side, I give the nod to over Texas, regardless if Jacob deGrom is healthy or not. I think the pitching for Tampa is just too good, and they can score runs with the Rangers as well. So they're top three. They're definitely top three as far as best team in the American League. But right now and throughout the season, I mean, I don't see anybody really beating Tampa. In a 4-game, let's go in a 7-game series. I don't see anybody beating Tampa as far as on paper wise.
Yeah, DeGrom just got transferred to the 60-day IL today, so he's had a setback.
I'll be rooting for you, Alan.
Obviously, they're not really needing them right now, so that's fine. We got 10 minutes left, guys. Let's talk about our next topic here. What do you make of the National League Central? And has the rest of the division made a mistake allowing the Cardinals to stay within the division lead? So I got a little graphic here, of course, for this one. So we look at the division lead as of last night. Milwaukee still sitting in first place, had the loss today. Pittsburgh lost today. I'm not sure what the Cubbies did, but Cincy won and St. Louis just lost here. So they're still sitting last place, but they're only down, I believe, was it 7.5 here? 7.5. Still crazy within this. So, like, they're still a streak away from winning or from obtaining first place. And we've seen what they can do after the All-Star break for the last 3 years. So, Jonathan, what are your thoughts on these Cardinals?
I mean, I don't think so. I think if you're the Brewers and Pirates, again, if you're the Pirates, you're just happy to be at the top part of the division right now, half a game behind the Brewers. I mean, so I don't think if you're the Pirates, you're not looking at the Cardinals right now. You're just saying, hey, we're just going to keep playing our game, and if we keep winning games, great. I think the Brewers would be the team that sit there and say, "Yeah, we have to watch the Cardinals just in case," because they were the second team. They were the second team of the division. They were supposed to be Cardinals and Brewers 1 and 2. At least in the eyes of us in the preseason mode. But there's so much inconsistency of St. Louis. I'm still not even holding hope that they can get on a run, because I just don't. I know they had a moment where they were like, "Hey, we're going to win some games now." But you're seeing them again. They're coming back down to earth in their last place. They lost on a walk off. Like, what are they doing to give you hope that they're going to figure it out and turn the ship around? I don't know. And I think that the more we get into now, and we're in June, if they're still 7.5 back, let's just say 7.5 by mid July, or I don't see it. I just don't see that this team is going to they're going to figure it out. And to put it together to say we have to win, a 10-game winning streak to make sure we catch the Brewers or Pirates or whoever's leading this division. We were never saying that this was going to be one of the best divisions in baseball, or the best division in the National League. No one ever predicted that was going to be the case. We all kind of predicted that the Cardinals were going to run away with it. And that was more of an indictment of the division itself and just how mediocre the division is. So we're kind of seeing a little bit more of that. It truly is mediocre, that we're saying that the Cardinals are just a dumpster fire of a team right now. The Brewers and Pirates are battling 1 and 2. But if you look at it and say, well, how do those two teams match up for the top two teams in the NL East? How do those two teams match up with the top teams in the NL West? Well, they're not there. They're not on paper with those two teams, those four teams in those two divisions. So they're about right where you're at. And I think if you're the Brewers and Pirates, particularly just in general, you're happy where you're at. You're not really keeping an eye on the Cardinals, because the Cardinals haven't done anything to show you, even if they're just 7.5 back, they haven't done anything to show you that you should be concerned of them. I think this identity of the Cardinals this year is completely a 180 of the identity we've known of the Cardinals to be for 10, 15, 20 years. And I just don't see that they have what it takes to make a run and scare the Brewers or Pirates currently.
So real quick here, I was incorrect here. Pittsburgh came back against the A's after being down 4-0 through 6, ended up winning that game. So they are officially first place in the NL Central. Milwaukee is still at second. Cincy there. Cubs are second to last, and the St. Louis Cardinals, of course, last place. So just want to correct that stat right there. I didn't realize Pittsburgh actually came back. So
real quick before we get out of here, John, out of Pittsburgh, Baltimore, sorry, Tanner.
No, you're fine.
And Texas, like who, we expected them to be better, but they've all exceeded our expectations, I think. Which one do you think has the power, the staying power to keep it going to the end of the season? Real quick, it doesn't have to be long.
Was that?
Did you include Arizona in that?
Yeah. I know you liked them before the season.
Yeah. If I to say this, who's going to have the staying power to compete for the division title this year? I don't. As high as I am on Diamondbacks, again, I'm very high on the Diamondbacks. I've been high on the Diamondbacks from day one with this group. I'm going to go with the Pirates, though. I'm going to go with the Pirates because of the division. Because the division is not a strong division. Like the Diamondbacks have to compete with the Dodgers, and we've talked about Dodgers. Are they the same team as? Well, they're still a really good team. They're a really good team that LA has right now. So I think that's going to be a very good battle that we'll see Diamondbacks and Dodgers throughout this season. But because the division itself is not as strong in the NL Central, I think the Pirates could get a run of winning 3 of 4, 3 of 5, 4 of 5, 4 of 6, while the Brewers kind of are doing the same thing and competing with a team that they're pretty close to being equal to. Diamondbacks on paper are not equal to the Dodgers. They're just an exciting, fun, young team, and they're playing above who they are, much like the Orioles did last year. But you still have to compete against a team that is on paper better than who you are. So the Pirates would be the team that I would say have the higher probability to continue this run and potentially win the division over the Diamondbacks in the NL West.
That'll be awesome to be able to look at that stadium in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The D-backs, is the problem with them their bullpen, do you think?
Yes, I kind of saw it a little bit in Atlanta. They outplayed Atlanta. Being a Braves fan, I'm not going to be shy away. They absolutely outplayed us, and the bullpen blew 2 games.
Yep.
And that again, if you're the Diamondbacks and you have a chance to go up against one of the top teams in the National League and sweep them, and I was afraid we were going to get swept.
Yeah.
I really had fears we were going to get swept by the Diamondbacks and be kind of almost in a free fall for a second. And the bullpen did implode and allow the Braves to kind of get a little bit a shot here, a shot there, and take 2 of 3 take 2 of 3 at the end of the series to win the series. So that's a huge misstep that the Diamondbacks had their opportunity to not only win the series against the Braves, but potentially sweep them.
Yeah.
And the bullpen in the back half and really your closer blew one of the games and potentially, again, to have that opportunity. So, I mean, if they could make a move, again, a lot of teams are going to try to make moves for bullpen arms. I mean, that's going to be the high price at the deadline this year, I think, is you're going to have is who's going to be able to acquire the bullpen help. Diamondbacks are one. They're going to be one that needs a closer. They're going to need a couple more guys in that back end to really help themselves. If they can do that, because, again, the pitching's just really good in Arizona, they could make that run with the Dodgers. But the Dodgers have the same needs that they have as well in the bullpen help, the pitching help as well. So it's one of those is who's going to pay the premium price at the deadline to get the bullpen players they need to compete for a division title and a World Series title.
Yeah,
love it, Jonathan. What's going on this weekend, man?
This weekend we have how many teams we got? 3 teams again in action. I'm back on the field actually with my 16U team on Friday. We have our first games of this weekend: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This was one of the biggest tournaments in Texas this summer, so a big challenge for us. Get a little history. I got to coach in this tournament 3 years ago, my very first time with a 16U team. It did not go very well for us. It was a learning experience at that age for those girls that I had at that time. So I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder going into this weekend to kind of prove that we now belong at this level. We belong with one of the best teams, some of the best teams in the state of Texas. That the organization belongs in the conversation with these best organizations in Texas too. So we got a little bit of a chip on our shoulder heading into that. So we got that. We got 2 games on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and we have our bracket on Sunday. Our 12U team is in action this weekend as well. I'll be watching them play throughout the weekend. When my teams aren't playing. And then our younger 14U teams also in action as well. So 3 teams going all over the place in DFW. Very excited for that. A little bit as well. Here in the next few weeks, our first 16U baseball team will be playing their first tournament. And I think by the end of June, we're trying to get them going here. So just another team that we have expanded and grown to. And they'll get their first opportunity. I got to watch them practice last week. I'll be at their practice on Wednesday. So kind of getting to get to introduce myself and see that group and kind of watch them grow. Same idea, same identity for that group is prepare them for college baseball showcases, meet with college coaches, how to introduce yourself to them as well. That's the long-term goal for that. But this weekend is going to be busy. I'm going to be on a ball field, and I'm going to be excited to compete with my girls in the biggest tournament in Texas this summer.
Awesome. Hey, can't wait to hear about it next.
Best of luck to all the boys and girls, man. That sounds like awesome, man. To spend the weekend on the baseball field all weekend, that's awesome.
Oh, yes. I'm living life, guys.
I'm jealous. I ain't going to front.
I know, like I said, I tell people I can't complain. If I did, nobody would listen to me because this is such a great life I've got right now. So I'm excited for it. I appreciate all the well wishes and everything and all that, guys. I'll be more than like I said. I love telling you guys. I love you guys asking and listening on how they do, how the kids do. I'm excited to be able to share that, hopefully some good news and some good wins we have this weekend to share with you guys next week.
Absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely,
and just being better, right?
Jonathan.
That's all we're asking for. So.
Absolutely.
Definitely, guys.
All right, Jonathan.
Thank you, bro.
Have a great week. Have a great weekend, man. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, fellas.
Yep. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks,
Alpha
Jonathan.
Performance, Jonathan Grishman, everybody.
He's a bad man,
Bro,
that Grisham.
Right?
That's awesome, bro. What he's doing, bro.
Hey, that's great. I love talking to that guy. I love his program.
absolutely.
I love what I hear. It's just exciting to ask him to see what's going on, and he knows so much throughout all 5 of his teams. So,
bro, that's how you start the week, bro. That's how you start the week with Jim with the hockey and with Jonathan. You know what I'm saying? Kicking the baseball
guys,
knowledge,
take it easy. All right, I'm right here. We know I'm the bee's knees. All right, take it easy.
All right, guys. So something we want to do before we get out of here. This is what I'm going to try to do every show, even with Mr. Bodkins when he gets back here. Is I want everybody's final thought. Just a quick 20, 30-second, guys, of just something on your mind you want to spit out, whether it's venting, a sports bet. You could be talking about Star Wars. You talking about how Sam got up in the middle, was all showing his belly. I thought something was going to come out. I was a little scared. Whatever you want to talk about, man, it's what it's going to be about. So, Johnny, we'll start with you. You got 15, 20 seconds on the board. What's your final thought before we get out of here?
Shout out to Dan Harris. I love this opportunity. I love the honor and privilege to be able to be on here with you guys, to talk sports and stuff with my boys. It's a lot of fun. This is a great idea, Tanner. You're busting your ass doing a lot there, and I appreciate everything. I appreciate being able to be a part of this, and I cannot wait until Thursday, man.
I appreciate you. Scott, you're up.
Yeah, just the same thing. I'm honored to be a part of this with everybody here. Shout out to Dan, shout out to Tanner, shout out to Nick to include me in this, and it's been great, and it was a great first show. And I look forward to many, many more shows coming up.
Awesome. Sam?
Yeah, shout out to Dan. Shout out to you, Tanner, for putting up with the mess and me in the private chat. You're a brave, brave man. I would like to just say this gambling thing, especially the NFL, is getting a little out of hand. We had today Isaiah Roberts, Colts cornerback and kick returner, betting 100. He was being investigated for betting 100 bets, but now he admitted to it, and it's on his Twitter and Instagram and everything like that. And he's not the only one. There were some in Detroit as well that got busted for it. It's like a whole rash of things. So I don't know how we move forward in the NFL, trying to keep a lid on this. But the more you have all these betting sites and everything like that involved, there's going to be more of this happening. So hopefully they can get a handle on it and we can end it for all. But yeah, this is a great opportunity. I'm thankful to be here, and I can't wait till Thursday.
Awesome. Yes. All right, guys. My final thoughts here is sports betting is dangerous, but it's enjoyable when you win. Plain and simple. Right. Gotta be shout out to the guys below that you see. Mr. Bodkins, of course, even though he's not here. I might take over his spot. He might just sit in the Fanatics now after I got a hold of this.
Tanner, you're in control, man. Just close this box out, man.
I know, right? Shout out to Dan Harris. I hope you're getting better, man. I really hope everything positive towards your way. Allowing us to be able to do this. Absolutely. We would take you in 100% if you're able to hop on at any time. It doesn't matter. So just shout out to Dan. It's my.
He could take Johnny's box. It'll be fine.
I'm good. For Dan, I'll step aside.
Dan can have Dan.
I'm just picking on you. It would be Bodkins' box. He would just take Bodkins.
I'll make him a whole nother screen, at that point, man.
With another monitor?
Sure.
Guys, we got a fabulous Thursday night show, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, here in a couple of days. We'll have Jew Jets on. We'll talk a little Jets, maybe a little XFL as well.
Future superstar right there.
No.
That's a future star right there, Jude.
We'll be talking UFC with Mr. Bodkins.
Woo!
And Johnny and Scott and Sam. I'm not a UFC guy, but I enjoy watching it, so I'm excited to hear what they thought. Yeah. And then, of course, we'll have the number 42, which is a Denver Nuggets reporter. He'll be covering the Nuggets. We'll be talking a lot of Denver Nuggets, especially after Game 3. See exactly how that goes, and of course, we'll be talking NBA Finals second hour. Second hour.
Hit that little bell, people.
He's going to have a nugget about the Nuggets. Is that what you're saying?
A nugget or two.
Man, guys. Nick Bodkins will be back here next on Thursday here. We're the Let's Talk Sports crew. We got the Fanatics down here. I'm Tanner. Everybody have a fabulous couple of days.
Don't strike midnight. Don't strike midnight.
See you guys.
Bye.
One life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stain from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep, only scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try